It's funny, like people have been buying these Don's hats, and I've been thinking to myself, like a true Don's hat is covered in burnt cornmeal. Like it's not a clean hat. Don's is known for the authentic cornmeal thin crust pizza, cooked well done. So folks, when they first try our pizza, it changes their idea of pizza for them because they're so used to getting these doughy pizzas, and when they first try Don's, it changes the pizza experience entirely. The top of the morning here at Don's, so we're getting ready, starting to do our veg prep, starting with the onions, green peppers. Gonna take our time and get all the bitter white parts off the green pepper to make sure that only the green parts of the green pepper make it onto the finished product. This will be like the first hour of our day, and then we're gonna move on to making dough. Make dough every day, let it ferment for a few days before we use it, so gotta be ahead of the game. The thing I love about the dough at Don's is the expertise that's been passed on through the generations and the different owners to really get a perfect understanding of what makes a good pizza dough. And when you're thinking about anything fermented, whether it be bread, beer, wine, it's the yeast that really does the work for you. So you can do a fast ferment, a slow ferment, and the time it takes and the yeast you use and the temperature you ferment at all impacts the flavor of the finished product. So what we're trying to do at Don's is we're going for a really slow, cold fermentation, and we're letting that yeast do the work for us. It's gonna break down a lot of those sugars, it's gonna develop the gluten. It adds to the overall taste of the finished product, for sure. So you can see this dough is not mixed to completion, where it's not, there's like no gluten development yet. It's still very tough because I want all the work to be done in the fridge. This is the dough we just made today, and it's tough. We're gonna get this in the fridge, and I want the yeast in time to do all the work so that when we actually go to make your pizza in a couple days, there's a lot of gas trapped in here. A lot of fermentation has happened. We're gonna be able to stretch this real thin, and it's gonna be extremely tasty. I think Don's is like a landmark in the Gatch. Don opened it back in 1960 on Isabel Street and moved it here to Bing Street in 1968. And he ended up selling it in 72 to Tony. Tony owned it for 12 years, sold it to Peter. Peter owned it for 37 years, and then he ended up selling it to Max and Mario. And here we are now.
This pizza was different than any other pizza in town. And as a kid, we realized that it was basically as close to homemade pizza that you would get. And growing up in an Italian family, the majority of our meals were homemade. So anytime we got a chance to grab a pizza, it was always from Don's because it was the closest to what we were used to. This is a Sudbury landmark, basically an institution in Sudbury. So we just wanted to make sure that the recipe and the tradition would stay alive.
I can see the pressure that was put on to make sure that we're holding the same quality of pizza that people expect. Because what we're looking to do is not change the pizza whatsoever. We're looking to deliver the same quality that everyone's expecting. I've had a million people tell me, don't change that pizza recipe. And all I tell them is, why would I? It's the best pizza in town, and we're not looking to make any changes to it. We're just looking to continue that recipe and take over from some real pizza legends. Like Peter was the master, and all I'm looking to do is continue on that legacy here and introduce this product to a whole new generation of people. You know what's funny is, when I started at Don's, I thought all our pizzas were well done. And I used to undercook them, and Peter would tell me, throw them in the oven a little longer. And I finally found the sweet spot, and I thought it was well done. And once you've tried that pizza, every time you have it, you want to go a little more and more well done. So now when I cook a pizza for myself, I'm going to the very far end of well done, because it changes your pizza experience having this dough cooked well. But definitely for those who haven't tried Don's Pizza before, it's cooked well done. What separates us is that high quality pizza. We're not something that you think, I'll just get pizza. You're excited to come to Don's and get sort of a craft pizza in my mind, because it does take training and skill to put together the pizza that we have here. And when you sit down and enjoy the pizza, you can taste the difference of watching it with our own eyes, making small adjustments, and making sure that it's done perfectly every time. It's not a mindless effort. We're putting in skill and conscious efforts every time to make sure that that finished product is perfect. And then once you try Don's, it opens up a whole new world for you. I always compare it to trying sourdough for the first time compared to eating white bread. It just opens up a whole new world to the flavors you can get out of the same core ingredients, you know? So it's always flour, water, yeast, salt, sugar, oil. Some people can put a few other things, but if you think of great bread bakers, they're great because they put in the time. The only thing that you can do is put in the time to make a great product, and you learn over time. I think what's interesting about Don's is that it almost ruins people's thought of what pizza is. I want to change people's concept of pizza. So it's very exciting to me to see tons of new customers walking in this door, and as they taste it, they say, I'm now a Don's person.